I hear you. I appreciate your call, Nick. Listening on 1340 KOMY. Appreciate it. We don't screen your calls, folks, so welcome to the show. Let's talk to Robert in Arkansas. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. Long-time listener and second-time caller. You'd asked earlier about what we could use as a unifying symbol for unity, and I want to announce Operation Take Back, where every American that is awake should be showing a flag in front of their home or business as a sign that the Constitution is the ultimate law of the land. And if you are awake, we should have our turn your porch light on and go around your neighborhood, see who's awake, who isn't awake. What we need to do is we need to be talking to our neighbors, and those that are not awake yet, we need to wake them up. We need to get out there, and we need to take neighborhood by neighborhood, city by city.
Total genius. I agree with you. We need to canvass our neighborhoods, identify who's awake, then organize to then try to wake the others up. And there's strength in numbers. Your neighbors are ready to wake up. People are ready for freedom. You've just got to set the brush fires in your area. Absolutely. Great idea. Thank you, Robert. Let's talk to Jerry in Georgia. Then we're going to El Salvador and Thailand. Jerry in Georgia, you're on the air.
Thank you, Alex. What I want everybody to do is just Google these words, radioactive plume, South Carolina. Since January, there's been a tritium leak into the water system. You'll find dozens and dozens of little local news articles about it, but nothing national and nothing about the journalists don't go, they don't test it. But the DHEC, you've got articles where they admit there is a leak from the Barnwell dump facility into the groundwater. And nobody.
And again, that's a tritium link. That's not too healthy. Of course, Ann Coulter says it's good for us, so maybe she can wave her magic wand and it'll save us. But say that again. What do you search? Because I hadn't heard about that leak.
Radioactive plume, South Carolina.
Radioactive plume, South Carolina. Guys, search engine that. We'll put it up even during the next caller. Thank you, sir. That's why we're taking a lot of calls. See, a lot of interesting stuff comes out. Let's talk to Chris in Florida. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Alex, would you please do a show with the founder of Ithaca Hours, Paul Glover, and if you want to put me on hold, I'd gladly give you the contact information. Another great guest would be Wayne Walson, who's been instrumental in several community currencies around the country, including Mountain Hours. That's mtnhours.com. And that's a great way to stimulate local economies and keep the currency local.
I'm all about local currencies, especially ones that aren't even digital because they can't track them. And then it's all about goodwill and what's trusted. And I'm all about local barter. Go ahead.
Yes, and if you'd, like I said, put me on hold, I'll give you all their contact information. PaulGlover.org is one of his sites, and he's running for governor.
I'll tell you what, do this. It's hard to just give me all the info on air. Email it to us, folks. We get a lot of guest ideas that way. Showtips@Infowars.com. Thank you, Chris. Let's talk to Edward in El Salvador. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex. I actually just wanted to talk about the Malaysian flight that's been missing for a few days. It's just it's insane to me that the American people and anybody else who's been keeping up with this story can actually believe that it's missing. How do you lose a plane with however many people, 239 people on board, with all cell phones? Supposedly they track cell phones and they can figure out where people are and look at you through your camera, and they can't find a whole bunch of people, supposedly 3 Americans on board. It's just like, what exactly?
It does sound like a giant stunt to distract us from the stuff happening in Ukraine and other areas.
And that's another thing. And in Ukraine, what is this the beginning of World War III with Russia and Ukraine? And
it's definitely the beginning of a new Cold War, brother. I appreciate your call. We're moving quick. Thanks for the call from El Salvador. Ben in Missouri. I know we're going to go to you in a minute. Actually, the next caller is Barry in Thailand. Maybe it's Barack Obama from Thailand. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that. Hey, just want to give you a show tip. I don't know if you're aware of this. I'm an options trader, and I pay attention to these things. But George Soros had taken out a large put option position on the S&P right before things really broke down in the Ukraine, which, I know from you that he was funding the protests there. So he would have profited hugely when he sold that position when it took a nosedive after the unrest kind of reached a crescendo there. So it's kind of a 9/11 put option scandal that I think you guys should look into.
Very interesting. Again, let me write that down. I'll have the reporters look into it. What was this? He put a put option in against the S&P?
There's an article in Market Watch that says Soros doubles a bearish bet on S&P to the tune of $1.3 billion. And if a put option position that is worth
sure, and then he goes in and he destabilizes the country. That's what he constantly does. I mean, I know he's in there market rigging. I know he's in there saying this may bring down Europe, which he's betting against right now. He just is an absolute monstrous little pig.
He would have made zillions on that. So you guys ought to look into that. Other than that, from Bangkok, it's really weird here. I'm about ready to leave, I think. But the cancer wards here in the hospitals are filled with children that are being poisoned by the additives in the food. And
well, Barry, there are too many people. So we got to kill all the children. Folks, take your shots. The establishment agenda, so all the trendies out there think it's cool. You're not going to get any more roles. And most of them sell out, folks. Well, we're not going to have any future if people don't start more and more going public coming out. And that's starting to happen where the system's not going to be able to maintain control. But don't be selfish if you're a Bruce Willis, who I know is awake, or others, and not speak out, because we're going to lose everything if you don't do it. Speak out against the whole system. Pick an issue: fluoride, Second Amendment, world governance, eugenics, the cancer epidemic, which they're designing on record. None of you are going to be protected. None of you are safe. This is an artificial system that's been built to make us artificially feel safe so they can incrementally social engineer us. You're living in a science fiction movie, folks. You're living in a proto-matrix. What are you going to do about it? I can put messages in bottles all day and send them out. You can send this video out to people. But you need to become a leader as well. And I speak to those that are in the establishment because you're just in the same boat as us regardless. Let's continue with phone calls ahead of Mr. Dent joining us. Let's go ahead and talk to John in Michigan on the Ukraine. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex, what's up?
Worldwide transmission. Go ahead.
Yeah, right on. I just want to say this whole Ukraine thing, it's part of the Captive Nations operation that Eisenhower instated. It's been like 50-something years of this whole Cold War, so to say. But I just want to state this quote from Stalin. America is like a healthy body, and its resistance is threefold. It's patriotism, it's morality, it's spiritual life. If we can undermine these three areas, America will collapse from within. Joseph Stalin.
He did say that, and they've done that to us. But again, the globalists were doing it here without the Russians' help. Anything else?
No, I just wanted to bring that to light, that it's been going on for 53 years, it's not nothing new. It's, the whole Keegan, is related to Newland, the husband. He's part of the, the whole New American Century doctrine, and it's the same thing as the, Captive Nation.
Well, the New American Century, the PNAC people are the Trotskyites. On record, literal Russian group, communist group that got kicked out by Stalin. I mean, that's why the neocons and Obama work together. It is a disgusting group of people. I appreciate your call. Great points, John. Ben in Missouri, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, terrorist. How's it going?
I'm good. I am for the Second Amendment. I'm a bad person and racist as well.
You really are. Yeah. Well, I heard you talking about LeBron James like that. That was extremely racist. I'm really offended that you would say something about somebody who's so good at putting a basket through a hoop and jumping up and down and all those other kinds of things. So I don't know. I don't know if I can listen to you anymore. But the reason why I called was because my mom and dad, mom took a job with Loving Big Pharma over in Switzerland. They live in Basel. Now, they have a festival called Fasnacht. I'm probably saying it wrong, but it's basically like a Mardi Gras type festival in Switzerland. And they have parades and everything else, and they have different cliques, is what they're called, that have, they cover a certain theme.
I got to hear about this. We're going to finish your call, take a few more, then we got our guest coming up. Third hour coming up, Infowars.com. Real Alex Jones on Twitter.
This is GCN,
follow us today.
The Genesis Communications.
Like us on Devil Book. Hi, folks. Alex Jones here with some important information. I want to tell you about Matt Redhawk and his team of patriots over at My Patriot Supply. Several years ago, Matt was sitting in his 2-bedroom apartment, frustrated with the direction this country was headed and the charlatans willing to sell us out for a quick buck. Deciding to take action, a company run by patriots for patriots was born. My Patriot Supply has never taken a loan or accepted outside funding. They now operate 2 distribution facilities and employ over 50 hardworking American men and women. It is rare to find companies who practice what they preach. And that's why I stock my pantry with high-quality storable foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today for special offers on emergency food storage, or call their preparedness specialist at 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Do business with someone who shares your values. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex.